revolution. Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant Podcast, your new source for information regarding Mafia wars from Zynga. Pistol Pete from Stockholm.
Live long and prosper.
And tonight I have with me Chainsaw Chester, Jana, Death by Gucci, and Jennifer, the Mafia Wars loot lady.
So, what's everybody up to?
Same old
stuff.
It's
Jinx.
not the same old. No.
It is. It's a new stress, new day.
Same day, different code.
Exactly. Copy
Yeah,
paste.
more rollbacks.
Rolling. Yep.
You know,
Yeah, where they roll out features and then they roll them right back again. They're rollbacks.
Kind of like the cities that they just took away?
Yeah, they took away off of the travel bar, to be clear.
Well, that we kind of hope for anyway. It was getting annoying to see it locked all the time anyway. No, I'm talking about the new, what's it called? The Union Hall?
Union Hall is what they called it in their blog post, but nowhere in the game does it refer to this thing as Union Hall.
We refer to it as the property manager.
Oh,
Right.
yes. I didn't know what we were talking about. Okay.
On my blog, I just called it the new property layout.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't do everything that the property manager does.
No.
They conveniently forgot half the stuff, like the port and the Brazil.
Yeah. You can collect all the properties, but
Your
you can't.
money, yeah.
But you can't craft the item. Well, you can craft items in New York, but you can't craft the items in the ports.
And you
Just
can't
careful about
activate
Brazil.
your taskmaster, so you're gonna have to go to Brazil to do that anyways. So you might
Before
as
you
well
want to
just-
collect them anyhow, because otherwise you lose out on those bonuses.
Yeah,
But
and the bonus
did you-
actually really helps.
They did do one thing that the spocklet can't do.
What did they do?
Yeah.
They made it so we could collect individually on our refinery barracks.
Ah, that's so old news. We don't
Yes,
have
yeah.
that. We don't have that in the property
Can't do
manager,
that.
but we can do it with. One of our fans created links to do it in the checklist. So take some of that,
When did the
Zingoids,
fan do that?
today. That's
Oh,
so
well,
old
Nazi
news.
outside.
We could. But they finally wrote the code.
Yeah,
So-
I know. Yeah, without them writing the code, we can't do the things that we do. I mean,
So give them some props.
yeah.
But it doesn't outweigh the fact that we can't build our port item, which was the driving force for wanting that all on one page. Because it's a pain to go to Italy after you go to New York and then go to Brazil. Then
Well,
you
and
do
I think with this new family progression thing, people were realizing how much more time they were spending going around to all these cities to do these collections, not knowing about Property Manager or any other tool. And I mean, it takes a while to get around to every one of them. And it was probably a developer that got frustrated really fast.
And you get distracted when you're over there, too. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, they probably didn't know either that the only thing that the family mission matters is New York properties.
Right.
That's
I didn't know that.
ridiculous.
FYI.
What they said during Mafia Wars Lies, what the reason for that was, is that they plan on never removing the New York city because that's the fundamental baseline
It's
of
the
Mafia
staple,
Wars.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the reason why they didn't want to get into that. If the next go around, they made Brazil one of those options, and then all of a sudden Brazil eventually disappears. Now it's messed with the family progression calculations and how fast you can or cannot progress.
Good
I
point.
get it, but so what? If you've gotten all those cities and you've upgraded them all and you're able to collect on them fully, then why not just add it to the progression anyway? And if you go through the progression a little faster because everybody's done their build-ups, then you should be able to get that. They're now getting to the point where they're limiting the number of cities anyway.
So what are you doing in Mafia Wars?
Who?
Fuck, man.
Yeah, let's hear about the Spocks.
Spock on.
We've now got, in the checklist, we've got more options for our fan-submitted checklist items. And so we've had some fans going pretty gangbusters on creating new checklist items that now have ended up in the fan library that's available in the checklist. And there's things now that people have created, like for collecting that stamina in the barracks and energy in the refinery as individual checklist items. or the idea of getting your energy pack out of the marketplace, the one you pay your 400 victory coins for.
Fight Club, right?
Yeah, Fight Club.
What was I calling it last week?
You were calling them loyalty points. You were buying them with loyalty points, but victory coins. But it'll now do that in one shot, so you can click the checklist item and then it buys your energy for you. So people are starting to really get a handle on how these little short snippets of code that is showing up in the checklist make life a little bit easier here and there. You know, we created the one to take us to the voting for the San Filippo, you know, in the saving raid. So, I mean, that's really cool. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad that that's picked up. Struggling with some of our spocklets, not playing well with streams. Our stream scanner is the one that seems to be working the most regularly. And if you actually use it regularly.
It's not working for me, but continue.
For those that have had success getting Stream Scanner to work, that has sort of been the benchmark for getting our spocklets that use streams like Bagman Mugger, the Getnator, and usually if that one works, then the others subsequently work. And we did make some code changes that hopefully have fixed most of them, but there's still some really strange anomalies. And I have found in my particular case that if a spocklet doesn't work the first time, like if I try Bagman Mugger and try to have it scan and it doesn't find anything, if I close it and open it back up, it seems to work the second time. We're still not sure why that is, but you know, it is kind of a workaround to get through. So I don't know, Jana, you said you use Stream Scanner, or did you use Stream Helper?
Stream Helper, every time I load that one, it tells me all
not
links
a number
done.
And zero. Yeah, but if you try the Stream Scanner first, it's the one that kind of opens everything in tabs, and then you can click on them, and then it goes to the log. That's the one that seems to work better and actually pull in the posts. Okay. And we have a little bit different code in that one, and that we think that's the reason why that one seems to be working.
You guys amaze me that you figure out any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's been a challenge because, you know, whenever Facebook and Zynga made their last bit of changes, I think most of them were on the Facebook side. Man, it just threw a curveball. So, but other than that, I think, you know, we've been pretty slow with new stuff. Makes Jen's life easier.
I don't think her life's gotten any easier this week.
Well, I don't think so either with all the new stuff that seems to be coming down the pike.
Just now, too.
Yeah, why we're recording. For a
just in time for us to lose
Usually it's the day after.
Exactly. I know, I'm like a gnat right now. My attention span is not right. But it's like, I might as well say what's happening. Okay, the new mission came out. It was expected to come out like around 4, but it was a little late. And of course, it comes out right before we decide to take. And there's no loot item for a grand prize. And I've been doing the inventory history like every 10 minutes today because I always like to see what's going to be new. Nothing. And then boom, the mission comes out. So I immediately ran an inventory history and there's all kinds of goodies on it that were added. And that is because instead of getting loot, we're going to get access to secret districts in Brazil.
The first one's called Smuggler's Haven.
Is the first secret district?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Did you already get to it?
Shut up!
I scooped everybody. Woohoo!
I'm busy. I have real life too.
We're not gonna be able to get her segment in if you don't quit telling her.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at because I'm focused on getting the mission done because people seem to like the walkthroughs I post.
Right.
And when I'm late on those, I get all these emails. Have you done the walkthrough yet? So I try to get those out in a timely manner.
Now, do you see? You don't in your particular account. Do you see if you go to the Brazil jobs? Where it says districts, to the right of it, do you see something that says secret districts?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, then you'll see that it's called Smuggler's Haven.
Okay, that's how you did it. Now
I've given away all my secrets.
There's got to be more.
Yeah, we don't know how many there are, and we don't know if they're going to be permanent. They will auto-unlock for those that don't want to do the mission in 4 days, but word on the street is if you complete the mission, then you'll have access to them early.
Right.
Now, are these going to be complete energy hogs?
Probably.
Oh, I would bet, considering they're in Brazil.
Exactly. Yeah. I was hoping they learned a lesson.
Yeah, they kind of hinted that they were on the same par as the Brazil. But by tomorrow, I'll have all this posted. I don't want to sound like I don't know anything. But right now, I don't.
Don't
except
know anything.
The new loot that's out. that will be out with these districts. The stats don't really look all that impressive except for the last 2 items.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe the last 3. I always get accused of forgetting that people aren't like at the same level as we are.
Do you know from what? Because have you looked in the inventory yet to see if this one's got any kind of special boosts at the end of the?
There's something called a lifesaver, and I don't know what that is yet.
It's a little candy. They're fruit flavored, and you put them in your
Well,
No, it's that circular
They have 'em
thing
on the
that
side
you
of a
throw in the
boat.
boat. Yeah.
Yeah, you throw them out when someone jumps.
So tomorrow
Plus,
I'll
just
have
threw out the
a-
women and children first, right?
Anything else?
We got the new. We already talked about the Union Hall, and we don't know why they didn't name it in the game. Those are the 2 biggies. The Rob squads seem to be here to stay. That they threw the banner back on, so I don't think they're going to take those down anytime soon.
Well, my suggestion to the developers: make the Rob Squad available to use regardless if you have a Rob Squad item. Don't give us the double bonus, but let us use this to clear a board.
Exactly. Rather than have to go spamming for it and needing
And
it.
Jeff on Mafia Wars Live did mention that that's what they were thinking because a big player demand is give us a way to blow through our stamina.
Stamina faster. That's my point.
And he seemed receptive to that and kind of made hints about what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But, we never know what they say and then what actually happens.
Right. Well, yeah, and if you can now do it at 100 at a pop in one server call, that certainly makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
It
So-
really does.
We got some promises regarding the family progression feature, which still everyone's confused. There's no 411 out yet. And we all want to know, how much experience do I need to get from level 1 to 2, 2 to 3? Now, Ike wrote a script where you can figure out how much you need on your current level, but we have no clue what we need beyond the current level. And most families are hovering around level 4 and 5. Nobody's gotten to level 6 yet. But I asked that question on Mafia Wars Live, and Jeff answered it and said that he had the information in his hand, and he promised it would be posted somewhere.
Which means we won't see it.
Probably, but I'm going to bug them. I'm going to
Yeah.
get on Skype, and I'm just going to be a hound for this information.
Well, there's no harm in posting that either.
No,
I mean,
there's not. And it was cute because Ike, he thought he cracked the formula, because you have to, we knew level 1 through 5, and he saw a pattern. But then when my family hit level 5, the pattern didn't match. So you're like, it could be anything. They could have picked random numbers. They didn't necessarily have a code for it.
They did.
How would you know?
Chester knows things. Trust me.
I know everything.
There's not a code for it. There's
Damn
no
you.
pattern.
Yes, there is.
He knows.
Then you need to talk to Ike and tell him because he's going crazy trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
going all, what's his name? Nash? Beautiful
Yeah.
mind. He's drawing numbers all over his wall, trying to figure out the formula.
And now, the big
I can
thing
see this.
that was somewhat irritating because I spent a lot of time figuring this thing out. And I know I had a whole lot of blog post hits on this article because everyone's kind of confused. But
You should have just asked Chester.
right, I know.
No shit.
But the first initial groups of families that got the feature had a daily timer. And then all of a sudden they made a blog post saying, remember we told you we were going to have everyone have this feature? Well, now they do. So now every family has it. But the second group that was rolled out, they have a weekly timer. And this totally changes the dynamics of the whole feature and all the math I figured out. And Zynga claims that there's 2 test groups and they're going to decide which timer is better. Well, the whole time I was writing up my post, I was like, this is really good. This is cool. We get these individual experience bonuses that can help you level. You can kind of select when you use them. Well, all the things that I thought were good will totally be taken away by this weekly timer. And I remember thinking, oh my God, they're going to nerf this. I just know it. And then that happened. So I think they're trying to set the stage for a nerf. And I kind of threw a preemptive strike out there and put a topic on Get Satisfaction for people to say which timer they would prefer.
Backing up, because I guess I was getting a little confused too, that the family progression, that when I collect on the family progression, my family gets experience towards the progression.
Right.
So if they remove the option to do it on a daily basis, it'll take forever to get through some of these levels if you
Exactly.
can only do it once a week.